Hello there, I'm Chef Johnny and this is Texas Style Cuisine. Got something exciting for you tonight. We're going back outside on the grill. You can see we're inside here first and we're going to be doing some grinding. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grind up some ribeye steaks to make some beef patties with. And we're going to make a hamburger and it's going to be a surf and turf burger. So we've got ribeye steak and lobsters on the menu for tonight. First thing we're going to do in making this burger is grind up our meat. Now, one thing to remember is how much fat's in your meat. You got to have enough fat in there to hold it together. So what I've done is I have sliced up about 3 pieces of some jalapeno thick sliced bacon. So it's going to be a little flavored. It's got some pepper on it. It's got some jalapeno pepper on it. And so it's got a little flavor to it. Put a little flavor in this ribeye steak with us. But look at it, they're not always 80-20. So add a little fat. That way they'll cook together a little bit better and they'll hold together well and give you plenty of moisture inside of your burger. So we've got them cut up and we're fixing to start grinding on them. Got my KitchenAid hooked up here. I tell you what, this is a good little grinder. It's a handy little grinder. And if you're not doing a large amount, plenty, more than what you need. I'll do even 5 or 10 pounds of sausage. Y'all might check out some of my sausage videos if you haven't seen them. And I do have a link for this down below. You can find it in my Amazon store also. But we're going to get this started. I'm going to start it up a little bit. And now we're going to start feeding in the steak. I'm going to put steak and then bacon and steak and bacon, kind of alternate it so the bacon gets spread through this ribeye steak. So we're going to start dropping all of our meat in. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of alternate back and forth. And I have this on the larger, I would call it kind of a medium die in there that makes the holes, not the small one. So it's going to be a little bit coarser, but it's going to stay together real well. Don't have to shove down a lot. Really, all you have to do is put your meat in there. Once it gets to the auger, that auger will pull it on through. Our next step here is to toss this meat. And remember, I don't want to pack it a lot. I want to kind of toss it lightly so it doesn't pack up real tight. And I tell you what, one thing I'd like you to do is remember to subscribe my channel and always click that notification bell. That's the way we get this channel bigger, is by you subscribing and telling your friends about us. But we're going to take this and kind of toss this meat lightly in here. Not real fast, not a whole lot. That way we're just kind of mixing that fat in just a little bit better. And again, that fat's going to give us moisture and it's going to help this meat bind together. Usually when I would make this, I would use parchment paper, but I seem to be out of parchment paper. So I just grabbed a little wax paper. That way the burgers aren't going to stick to anything. And I'm going to take my ring. This is just it's a big pastry cutter ring that I have. And when I'm making a nice big burger, that's kind of what I use. I'm going to take half of my meat and just kind of eyeballing it here. I'm going to drop this in to my mold. And this is, just a little over a half pound, maybe 9 ounces. Well, then we add the bacon in, so might be a 10-ounce burger maybe. Let's see how these turn out. That one I'm just going to kind of round off the edges. That one up there. There we go. Second burger's in. Kind of round it off a little bit. There are 2 patties ready to go. They're looking pretty. They're not really tightly packed, so you have to be careful. The best way to put them on is when they're nice and cold. So what I'm going to do is just going to cut the wax paper around them where it'll fit on a plate, put that inside the refrigerator. I'm going to go outside and get my fire ready. We're going to get these lobster tails going. And a lot of different ways you can do lobster and to cook it up. We're going to cook these on the grill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half because I want to get some heat to them and get some grill marks on them that way since they're going on a burger. Not a real hard process here. And these are about a 3 to 4 ounce. I'd say this one's probably 3 and this one's about 4. Wife picked these up the other day for me. And I tell you, a shell's kind of tough. But what you want to do is put it on there, put your hand on it, and then just press down all the way through. And it's not that hard to do. You get a little crunching in here. Going through that bottom shell now. If I'd have grabbed one of my bigger chef's knives, it'd been longer. Helped a little bit, but it's gonna work. You can see that lovely meat from that lobster. Today for the season, I want this to be a little bit on the spicy side. So, didn't make anything up for it. I'm just gonna do some Tony Chache's. I think that's the way you say it. Chacheries, I don't know. I heard it said a lot of different ways, but we're gonna just sprinkle this lightly on here. And then when we get them on the grill, we're gonna have some lemon butter to put on them and baste them with while they're grilling up. Little seasoning on them. Just get them on a plate, get them in the fridge. Getting our butter ready. I'm gonna drop in about a half stick of butter, just 2 tails, doesn't take a whole lot. I like a lot of garlic, so I'm gonna take a couple of cloves of fresh garlic, dice those up small, and really mince them, but I want them very, very small. Going to do a few of these. Let me get those ready, get them in. Then we're going to add just a little bit, and I can do that now just to show you. It's not a whole lot of the Tony Chache's. Oh, maybe a half a teaspoon. Put that in there on top of our butter. Minced garlic. Put this on the stove, let it simmer for a little while. Now we're going to make this remoulade. Now, if you're looking for a true French remoulade, this is not it. This is somewhere between tartar sauce and remoulade. A remoulade, has some raw egg in it, has some capers in it, different items, but this isn't going to have those items. So, loose definition of the term, maybe a Louisiana or Cajun version of it, but I'm going to put, a couple of big heaping spoons. Those are serving spoons of mayo in there. And it's Hellmann's. I like Hellmann's. Now I'm going to put a good amount of coarse ground mustard. Now if you wanted to, you could use a Creole mustard. This is just a coarse brown mustard. We can get that off in there. There we go. Mix that in. Heinz ketchup. Couple of good squirts. Tabasco, or excuse me, Louisiana hot sauce. I like a little spicy, so we put a good little amount of that. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Again, Tony Chache's. And I'm going to put the juice of half of a big lemon in there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other half of this lemon, I'm going to put it in my butter and garlic that I have to squeeze onto my lobsters in a minute. Juice of half a lemon. See if we can mix this up. But there it is. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, tastes good. Nice and lemony. I'm going to add a little bit more of my Cajun seasoning. Put that in. And I'm going to put a touch more ketchup. I want a little bit redder. And another sprinkle of Louisiana hot sauce. And again, this is just kind of off the cuff. You're going to have to do this one on your own. I just kind of always just throw this together. It's great with seafood. And I thought it'd be wonderful on these burgers. So, almost forgot. The remoulade works good with horseradish. Don't have any tonight. So I'm just dropping a little bit of cocktail sauce in there. So I'm going to add this to the mix. And that flavor you get from the cocktail sauce and that horseradish, gonna go great with this. So that's gonna step up that flavor right where I want it. We've made it outside. We're here, and I tell you what, burgers are nice and cold, just came out of the fridge. I am going to season them up a little bit with just some all-purpose kind of barbecue season that I use. Y'all can see this. It's really what I put on my chickens. So I thought that would go good with this tonight. Pick that up. Now, I have this set up in a 2-zone fire. Y'all have seen me do this before. 2/3 of the coal on one side, 1/3 of the coal on the other way, so I can move it off the hot fire if I need to. I take this patty, I'm gonna put it seasoned side down. Right there. Same way with my other one. Gonna let those start cooking up. I do have some mesquite chips down on the coals, so we're getting a little smoke from that. I'm gonna put that nice smoky flavor into these patties. Now, I've got my butter. Y'all can see I've transferred my butter into this little cast iron pan. This is from Lodge. It's a great little item. My kids gave it to me for Christmas a couple of years ago. But once it gets hot, it'll stay hot. So I've got it hot on the fire. I'm going to move it off because that's what we're going to use on our lobsters in just a minute. Got a good hot fire there. It's not going to take too long, maybe 4 minutes on each side, maybe 5. But remember, we packed these lightly. They shouldn't puff any at all because we did that. And I tell you what, they are looking pretty. Haven't seasoned this back side yet, if y'all remember. So I'm going to season them a little bit. Drop a little bit of seasoning on the back side of these patties. These patties are cooking really nice. I'm going to see if we can turn them. Remember, if they're ready to lift up, you can usually pick them up off the grill. That will lift it up easily. So let's flip it over. Oh yeah, we've got a nice char on that side. Just what we want, nice and crispy. Oh yeah, that can turn loose very good. Turn it over. 2 beautiful patties. We're gonna let them cook on this side for a little while. Now remember, we're taking these to medium, so we're gonna pull them up into that 140, 145. Get these off quickly. They are pretty, pretty burgers. Need to let those sit for a little anyways. I'm gonna set my container of butter back on there. Now remember, our lobster tails have been split down the middle, and I'm gonna lay them shell side down first. Let them kind of cook that back side some. Everybody does this a little differently, but that's how I'm gonna do it. I like to get that back side cooked. And also what that enables me to do is take some of my butter and go ahead and baste this top side. About a minute an ounce is what you need to do. So 4 ounces, 4 minutes. They're cut in half. Should even cook a little bit quicker. You can always tell these tails, they kind of start turning a little white from the kind of a clear color they are. They get a little bit white. We'll start seeing that around the edges some. You can tell my butter's dripping down on those coals. But we're going to baste these real well. A little bit of a flare up there. It shouldn't last too long. That looks good. Take my tongs. And let's turn these tails over. Take these tails and let's get that meat down toward our fire. Oh yeah, those tails are a beautiful color. About 2 minutes on this side and they're gonna be ready to go. Y'all know me and burgers. I love a good toasted sesame seed bun, and that's what we're gonna use. And I'm gonna butter them up tonight with some of our garlic butter off of that we use for our lobster. Let those toast for a minute and we'll make some hamburgers. Let's get to putting this burger together. Take one of our nice toasted buns and that remoulade that we made a while ago. I'll take it. I'm going to spread it on this bottom one. A little bit on the top. Not that worried about the top because we're going to put some of this on the burger itself. Buns are ready. Now we have our tails. And this skin, or this meat actually will release from this shell when it's cooked fairly easy. So go in there with my thumb. Look at this. I can just pull that right out. And I'm going to go all the way down this tail. Nice and moist. As you can tell, I did let these cool a little bit. Here's the other one. Boy, it is nice and it is buttery. Just going to take that thumb, work it all the way down the tail, get every bit of the meat out of there I can. Now, I've got a nice spring mix salad with a little spinach mixed in it. We'll put that on our bottom bun. A lot of pretty colors on there, and I tell you what, this spring mix just goes with it. It's light, it's hearty, it's colorful. It's going to go really, really nice with this. Take the bigger of our two patties, set it right there on top of our lettuce. Now, nice chunks of lobster up on top. I'm going to take my remoulade. I'm going to drizzle that right across the top. And I tell you what, that cocktail sauce I ended at the end, right there I put in it. I almost forgot that. Glad I didn't, because the horseradish really adds to this. Didn't have any horseradish at the house. Remoulade's there. Buns on top. I'll tell you, we have got a nice burger right here. It is big, it is tall, it is meaty. Now remember what we did. Ground up our ribeye steaks, mixed them in with some nice jalapeno black pepper bacon, grinded them together, packed them lightly. We cooked them to about 140 degrees. One was about 138, 140. So that's right where we were at. It's a beautiful burger. We're going to have to taste it. Slice this in half. Oh, you can hear the crunch in that bun. Let's open it up where y'all can see it. This time, take a bite. Toasted bun. I tell you now, that's pretty. You have the toasted bun, you have your spinach and your spring mix, the remoulade sauce. There's a piece of lobster sticking out the front. I'm gonna make sure I get that lobster in my bite. I tell you, I think our surf and turf burger was a success. That was an excellent, excellent burger. You have the crispness in that toasted bun, that ribeye, over a half a pound of ribeye and the jalapeno bacon. We put that Tony Chache's in there, so it's got a little bite to it. And I tell you what, then you get in there and you can taste the richness of that lobster meat off that tail. That surf and turf burger was excellent, without a doubt. You know, we've got a lot of things going on here at Texas Style Cuisine, and one thing I want to tell you about is a good friend of mine, Kent Vanderweerd, over at Daddy Dutch Barbecue and Cooking. Kent's got a fairly new channel. He's trying to get that thing going, but he's a competition cook. He's a family cook from the backyard. Has some great things going on over there. So stop by Daddy Dutch Barbecue and Cooking. Give Kent a shout out. Tell him that Chef Johnny sent you over there. And thanks for stopping by. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you go down there and give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends and family about us. And we're going to see you down the road on Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine.
How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.